And speaking of seafood, how about making this ceviche recipe from some of our good friends down in San Diego?
Hi, I'm Jenny Goycochea. I'm the chef de cuisine at Tasting Room in Del Mar, and today we're making passion fruit, shrimp, and fresh fish ceviche. So the first thing that we're gonna do, we actually have a little bit of our shrimp that's been marinating with some yellowtail, red onion, a little bit of habanero, and some lime juice. You need to let this give a little bit of time to let it cook, so the acid in the lime will actually cook the fish through. But I'm gonna show you guys the type of shrimp that we use and the easiest way to break them down. So these are actually U10 shrimp, which means that you would get under 10 in a pound. As you can see from my hand for scale, they're actually quite large. So what I like to do is I like to cut them in half lengthwise. This also makes it easier to devein the shrimp. Having the shrimp cut this way also means that the lime juice will take a lot less time to cook it. So that makes your ceviche come together a lot more quickly. We've got a little bit of Persian cucumber here that's diced. I like Persian cucumbers because you actually don't need to deseed them because the seeds are so small that they don't really affect the texture or flavor. And then I've actually got some local heirloom cherry tomatoes that we've diced as well. So I'm gonna add that in. A little bit of green onion, the green and light green parts only, chopped up and sliced nice and thin. And then I've actually got some passion fruit. So if you've never seen a passion fruit, you'll notice that it's kind of ugly. It's very wrinkly. This actually means that the passion fruit is at its ripest. It's gonna be nice and sweet, and it's gonna be very juicy inside. So we'll cut it open real quick. And you can see inside they've got these nice seeds, which are actually edible, and they give a nice little bit of crunch to the ceviche, which is why I like using them. Plus it's very tart, fresh, very summery, and goes really well with the fish that we're using today. And we also have a little bit of habanero in there. Now, depending on your spice tolerance, it's totally up to you whether or not you want to leave the seeds in. I didn't, and I used 2 of the deseeded habaneros. So when you cut them open, they look a little bit like this. This ribs and these seeds are where most of the heat resides. So if you want a little bit of a milder ceviche, I would pull these out and dice this finely. Otherwise, you can also use jalapenos or serranos, which are a little bit less spicy. So I'm going to also add a little bit of avocado to our ceviche. And I'm gonna finish it with the rest of our chopped lime. Get a little more juice in there. And last but not least, my favorite part of ceviche is that it has a significant amount of cilantro, which I love. So I'm gonna try and shear it away from the stems a little bit, so we're just getting mostly leaves. So I'm gonna chop that up. You don't wanna go too fine on this because as you chop the herbs more finely, they actually start to turn brown and they get really bruised. So I'm just gonna give it a nice rough chop so that we don't get huge chunks of it in each bite. Okay, cilantro goes into the bowl. And I'm going to toss everything together and season with a little bit of local La Jolla sea salt and some pepper. And then we'll see if it actually needs a little bit of sugar because sugar adds a little bit of balance. We don't want it to just be salty and acidic. We want a nice balanced flavor to everything. So I am actually going to add a little bit of sugar. The passion fruit is very tart, and so without it, it just kind of makes it taste really sour. The shrimp and the yellowtail are probably gonna be really sweet, but a little bit of sugar will help balance everything out. And here you go. This is our passion fruit, shrimp, and local fish ceviche.